for the community. Drenda, the community doesn't trust you anymore. It's gone. I don't know why you're not seeing it or hearing your community speaking out and saying, Drenda, we're begging you, please step down. What is going on in your home? That's your home. Deal with your home first, because what has happened is you brought it here. You have put Knox County on the map in a bad way. It's an embarrassment to our...
I'm sorry you feel that way, but these allegations have nothing to do with me personally.
Oh, they do, because you said that these people trust you. They don't. And also, you also lied about in the campaign. You said in your campaign
I'm not being accused of anything, so
yeah,
thank you for your comment. I'm sorry you feel that way, but
I'm not done, because you also made a promise during your campaign that you would be in this office daily.
Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're talking about the drama surrounding Johnny Lamb's circle, and it's all about Drenda. She's being asked to step down from her political position in Ohio. But here's the thing. People like her never want to resign. It's like they just can't humble themselves and admit when it's time to go. Instead, they dig in their heels, defend themselves, and act with so much arrogance that it's almost unbelievable. Instead of recognizing when they have outstayed their welcome, they hold on tightly to their positions and keep fighting against the criticism. It's frustrating to watch, especially when it's clear they're doing more harm than good. These folks never take the opportunity to step back and do what's best for the people they serve. They act like defending their position is more important than the needs of those around them. It's the same old story. Leaders who are too stubborn to step aside and let others bring fresh perspectives. Instead, they defend their actions with arrogance, leaving you shaking your head. It's frustrating, but unfortunately, it's a common sight in politics. Take a look for yourself.
So you made a statement in the Mount Vernon News where you said you're not going to step down because of the trust for the community. Drenda, the community doesn't trust you anymore. It's gone. I don't know why you're not seeing it or hearing your community speaking out and saying, Drenda, we're begging you, please step down. What is going on in your home? That's your home. Deal with your home first, because what has happened is you brought it here. You have put Knox County on the map in a bad way. It's an embarrassment to our...
I'm sorry you feel that way, but these allegations have nothing to do with me personally.
Oh, they do, because you said that these people trust you. They don't. And also, you also lied about in the campaign. You said in your campaign
I'm not being accused of anything, so
yeah,
thank you for your comment. I'm sorry you feel that way, but
I'm not done, because you also made a promise during your campaign that you would be in this office daily. You're not.
I didn't make a promise to be your daily.
Yes, you sure did. You said you were not going to be like the previous one and you would be here. No, you're not.
Yes,
No, Drenda, please stop lying.
I respectfully thank you for your comment.
You actually can't stop me from talking, Drenda, because it's per public and I am the public. I am a member of this
You
community.
have 3 minutes to make a comment.
I absolutely
You have
do.
35 seconds left.
Okay, Drenda, please stop. Just listen to your community. Your community is asking you to please step down because of allegations against your family, whatever. You need to deal with your home first. This is not your home. Deal with it first. There was a reason why I didn't vote for you. There was something in my gut. I think you remember me telling you, don't run because there's something I remember about
being quite an opponent against me during the whole campaign.
And I'm still an opponent.
So this is a personal vendetta.
No, absolutely not. I am speaking on behalf of people who asked me to come here today to say, Drenda, step down. If you read those comments on your little thing that you put in the Mount Vernon News, which you basically called your daughter a liar, which, you know, that was for you.
I don't want to get into personal things.
They don't want you here, Drenda. They don't want you here.
Thank you. I received a lot of cards and encouragement.
Oh, that's funny because I received
you
that
have
for
a
1
comment?
second.
Yeah, I read the same news article. And you said that you were not going to abandon the trust that voters placed in you. Our community deserves advocates who stand up for what is right, regardless of personal trials. Have you ever heard of misplaced trust? When people voted for you, you claim to run on transparency. You have handled this with zero transparency, and everyone has been watching. The transparent thing to do when this first came out was to acknowledge it, resign or take a leave of absence so you could be there for your family and cops could investigate. Instead, you called it an attack on your family. Your daughter was the first one who came forward. That spoke volumes to the residents of Knox County. The trust that voters gave you was misled. Were you open and transparent about the financial investigation while you were campaigning?
No. There was no financial investigation while I was campaigning or
No.
now. There is no financial
But
investigation
there was
now.
before. Did you
know.
let people know?
That was a person that was disgruntled
We covered the
employee, and
financial
it was cleared at the state level. There was no issue
But
there.
did you let people know that there was an
There was,
investigation?
anybody can be investigated for anything. Allegations can be made by anyone. Doesn't mean it's true or valid. And once it was
Everything's found.
investigated, there was absolutely no
There were things
violations
that you
found.
had.
There was no
They
violation
gave you
found.
suggestions for
There was no
improvements.
violation found
Okay.
whatsoever. Actually, 4 years
They
of
don't like
records
her.
were completely
You can
combed
tell.
over
While
in
you were-
detail, and
okay.
there were no
You
allegations.
cannot abandon something that is not there. The residents have been calling on you to resign. The residents you claim to serve. So why aren't you listening? At this point, it feels like you're keeping the residents in a toxic relationship with you that we want out of. Your true colors continue to show and it is on display for the world to see. Knox County
Look at
deserves
the man.
better
He's
and we
like-
deserve better.
And you also need to step down from
Thank you.
central committee because you don't even show up to those meetings either.
Thank you for your comment. I appreciate it. I want to be gracious. There's still an investigation ongoing, and I can't comment or defend or talk about any of those pieces, or I would have.
Defendant.
There are many things
I'm
I'd love
saying
to say, I just can't
From the-
say right now.
From the outside look of
You
everybody,
think with all her money,
you're on
she
the
should just
family
step
first
down?
council, right, with children?
My heart has always been for family. And I
Okay.
fought for family.
Okay.
But you're not fighting for your family because you're.
Now, hang on.
From your
We
son?
all read the same statements of what your daughter alleged happened in your house, happened more often than not, that she was abused. You can't protect
I can't
or
comment on that,
stand
you
up
know,
for
I
your own
can't.
children.
I can't
Those are,
comment
those are
on
allegations.
Okay,
My daughter-
allegations.
Allegations, there's no proof of that.
Right, but it
Against
still
my
sends a clear
son.
message.
Can't-
If you
Anyone
can't,
can be accused of anything,
Anyways,
and
we
anybody
get back to
can
work.
be investigated for anything. We all know that. We've seen it with our president, right? So those things can happen to anyone.
Oh,
It doesn't
she's
make
like
it
the
true.
president.
But it's-
So-
She's
And by the
like-
way,
It's a
3
bad-
minutes are up as
Yeah.
well.
It's a bad
I'll-
look.
I'll
I'm not-
just
no,
be
wait,
gracious.
wait, wait. I
I'll
have a
give you
question.
30
Her
seconds.
son is an alleged predator.
you just said it doesn't make it true,
I love
but
you
you
so
also
much.
said that you weren't saying your daughter was lying.
I'm not
So,
commenting on either way right now.
but you just said those
I
things.
love my
the same-
family. I'm for my kids. I'm for my family. I've spent my life
Then you need to be
devoted.
with your family and not here.
You
My
need to
family
be
no
for
longer
my
lives in my
family.
home. They're all adults. I no longer have any say over that. There's an investigation being conducted, and that's all I can say right now. But thank you for your comments today.
Thank you for your comment.
The situation unfolding with Drenda, her family, and the surrounding events is something that has clearly stirred up a lot of emotions and raised many questions. From the outside, it appears that Drenda's actions, in her refusal to step down, are driven by her desire to hold on to power and maintain control, particularly as her son, Tom Keesee, faces multiple allegations that threaten to unravel everything. Drenda's refusal to leave her position, especially amid the allegations against her son, is indicative of a deeper issue. Some might say it's more about her desire to protect herself and her family's reputation than doing what's best for her community or her faith-based organization. The story goes beyond the political. It delves into the personal as Drenda's role as a mother becomes central in this narrative. Allegedly, Tom Keesee is facing accusations of sexually harming underage girls and other women, accusations that have been reported multiple times by various sources, including his ex-wife. The tension here is undeniable. How can a mother stand by her son through such allegations? How can a woman in a leadership position in the church refuse to step down when everything seems to be falling apart around her? What makes this situation even more perplexing is the way in which Drenda continues to present herself. With a smile on her face and an unwavering defense of her son's actions, she seems to be more focused on maintaining her position than on the reality of the situation. To many, it's hard to understand why someone in her position wouldn't step aside. If your child is facing such serious allegations, especially as the head of a church, wouldn't the right course of action be to step out of the public eye and allow the investigation to take place without the distraction of your own leadership role? However, Drenda seems to think otherwise. Instead of acknowledging the severity of the situation and stepping down, she continues to hold on to her position as if nothing is wrong. This kind of behavior is not uncommon, particularly among individuals who are deeply invested in power and status. It's not just about the position or the public appearance, it's about protecting the empire they've built. When everything is riding on this position, it can be easy to lose sight of what really matters. The defense of her son despite the mounting evidence and allegations, is a classic case of a mother trying to protect her child, no matter the cost. Yet the problem lies in the fact that this isn't just a personal matter. It's also a public one. Drenda's actions are being scrutinized by a wider audience, including her church members, the community, and anyone following the case. For some, it's a sign of loyalty to her son, but for others, it looks like a cover-up, a desperate attempt to salvage her own reputation and, by extension, the reputation of the church and her family. What's even more concerning is the arrogance displayed by those involved. Tom Cassett's current wife has reportedly sent cease and desist letters to people who have been speaking out about the allegations against her husband, demanding that they stop sharing information. This type of behavior, attempting to silence critics, can be seen as an effort to protect the family name, but it only serves to highlight the level of arrogance and entitlement that seems to pervade this situation. When you have power or believe you do, it's easy to think that the rules don't apply to you. But the real question here is, what would any of us do in this situation? If your child was facing such serious allegations, especially if you were in a position of power or authority, what would be the right course of action? Would you stay and try to weather the storm, or would you step down to protect your family and your community from further damage? It's easy to say we would step down, but when you're in the middle of it, the emotional and financial stakes are much higher. For Drenda, stepping down might mean losing everything she's worked for. However, there's a bigger issue at play here. Drenda's refusal to step down doesn't just hurt her, it hurts the people around her, including her church members, her family, and the community. By refusing to leave, she's sending the message that protecting her own position is more important than acknowledging the harm that's being done. This is where the lack of wisdom becomes evident. It's clear that Drenda and her family have the means to walk away from the situation and still live comfortable lives. They don't need the church as a source of income or status. So why continue the facade? The irony here is that Drenda and Gary have a powerful platform to help others, to show leadership, and to demonstrate integrity. Yet instead of using their position to make the right choices, they continue down a path that only serves to create more drama, more questions, and more scandal. The longer Drenda stays in her position, the more she fuels the fire of public scrutiny. This isn't just about politics or power. It's about doing what's right, even when it's hard. And let's not forget about the women who have come forward with these allegations. They are the ones showing true courage in this situation. These are the women who are willing to risk everything to expose the truth, even though they know it will not be easy. They are standing up against the powerful figures that have controlled the narrative for so long. It takes an immense amount of bravery to do that, especially when you know the consequences could be dire. Drenda might be smiling through it all, but these women are the ones who are forcing the issue to the forefront, shining a light on the dark corners that have been hidden for far too long. What's even more disturbing is the way in which Drenda and her family are handling the situation. If you were in their shoes, wouldn't you want to step away from the limelight, especially with your son facing such serious allegations? Wouldn't you want to show some level of humility and responsibility by taking a step back? Instead, Drenda is standing firm, as if nothing is wrong, as if she is untouchable. This is what makes this situation so bizarre. There's no authenticity. There's no real admission of fault or responsibility. Instead, there's a desperate attempt to maintain control, to keep the facade intact, no matter the cost. The issue here isn't just about Drenda's leadership or her son's alleged actions. It's about the refusal to face the truth, the refusal to step down, and the desperate attempt to hold on to power. In the end, it all comes back to the money, the power, and the empire that's been built. Drenda and Gary, despite the scandal, will likely remain financially secure for the rest of their lives, but the price of that security might be the loss of their integrity and their reputation. This is the danger of holding on to power for too long. It blinds you to the things that really matter, like honesty, humility, and doing the right thing. For Drenda, it seems that stepping down would mean losing everything she's worked for, but by refusing to step aside, she's only digging a deeper hole. The arrogance of it all, the refusal to acknowledge the pain caused by her son's alleged actions, the denial of the truth, and the determination to hold on to power are what make this situation so tragic. And it's clear that the longer Drenda stays in her position, the more damage she does to herself, her family, and her community. It's hard to understand why people like Drenda and Joni continue down these paths, especially when the evidence of their mistakes is so clear. Maybe it's the fear of losing their status, their money, or their influence. Maybe they think they can weather the storm and come out unscathed. But the truth is, the longer they stay in their positions, the more damage they do to their own reputations and to the people who look up to them. It's a cautionary tale about the dangers of holding on to power for too long and the consequences of ignoring the truth.